We're here at Growing Food, Growing Hope Garden. It's more than about food here. It's located on the grounds of First Step at Lakeview, which is residential addiction treatment center for women, and their children can live with their mothers here while they're going through treatment. It represents beautiful fresh food, and some of that goes into the kitchen here, feeds the women. We teach cooking classes here twice a month, which feature produce from the garden. The women this morning, for example, come in small groups and work with us in the garden. And the people behind me working in the garden are students. We employ 6 students to be stewards of the garden.
So this year we have been harvesting a thing called scapes, which grows in between the garlic, and it's kind of like onions, and you can use them in a lot of dishes as well.
And they tend the garden, but more than that, they work with the women, they help with cooking classes, they speak about food justice in the community. We run a free market once a week at Edgewood Homes, which is housing authority, low-income housing, and what produce here doesn't go in the kitchen, goes there to feed our community, so we don't sell the produce. 4,000 pounds last year, we gave it away directly. And to have women in the garden today eating strawberries and working next to incredible youth leaders.
And then we have corn at the far end of this fence, and it gets pretty tall, and we'll harvest it later in the fall.
Because they create the change and they create the inspiration. And so when we saw that Be More Like Claire was offering funding, and knowing what I know of your desire to do work in the community seems so aligned with us that I felt like we could tell our story to you and you might go, yes, which you did. And this garden represents all of that. I think the garden is an unbelievable analogy for what these women are doing. I'll tell you a little story this morning. So we were explaining to the women what bolting was, and we said, well, it's like, you plant it, it grows, then it kind of goes through this period where it flowers, but then we need to start over. And one woman said, like us. So the garden is a cycle that they understand, and because women do return here, I think a garden is a perfect parallel to what's going on in their lives. And this garden is also to offer a place of order and peace, because there's enough chaos in their lives, our lives. And we live in our worlds of comfort. And this pushes students, young people, outside their world. And it gives them a broader perspective, whether it's working next to these women who are surprisingly honest. That's our community too. And I think also the aesthetics and knowing that if a woman walks in the garden and it's beautiful, that provides peace. So it's real life opportunities. And there was a woman this morning who told the story that when she was 15, she learned to garden, can, and watch her siblings at 15. So I think also the women relate to the youth in this garden doing this work. Thank you. For us, this is huge. We have a weed eater, and we're installing shade today and doing things we can never do. And they're not big things, but they're big to this project. So thank you, Be More Like Claire, because we want to be more like Claire.
Grow food, grow hope.